Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we've got the HMBLE monthly finals. We've got Humble versus ZETA division. So we've got last year's world final winners, and we've got Humble, who also reached the monthly final last month, but unfortunately lost to SK, which this time around in the semi-finals, Humble were able to defeat SK in really close fashion. So this is going to be an unbelievably close game. Unfortunately, I've not actually watched too many of the games. I've been out all day, but fortunately enough, I've came home in time so I can watch this live, and there won't be any spoilers on Twitter or anything like that. So beautiful. So we've got Safe Zone right here. In terms of best first picks, then quite clearly the best first picks are Chuck, Angelo, and the third ban is Melody. So those are going to be the best three brawlers on Safe Zone. That's good to learn that. And then of course Smantic picking Colt. Colt's always good on Safe Zone, especially with the hypercharge. You could just never go really wrong with a Colt. A lot of people are still going Nanny on Safe Zone, which is interesting because Nanny recently got a damage nerf, but I think the TPs into spawn are just really good for pressure. That's literally the main reason why I use it. And of course Nanny still does good damage. And then they go with the 8-bit, pretty underrated. It's starting to become a bit more meta again. From what I've realized, I see a lot more Byron in the meta, pairs really well with 8-bit as well. They go with the Bell. Bell's still solid in the meta, like I predicted in my top 10 brawler video. Even since the hypercharge nerf, I still think she's a fantastic option. And of course, one of the best counters to 8-bit, because wherever you put your 8-bit turret, if Bell hits 8-bit once, it can then ricochet off the turret and then back onto 8-bit. It's just really hard for 8-bit to deal with. And of course, Bell's super as well is going to get a lot of value against 8-bit. And then Amber as well. I've seen a lot of Amber. I'm pretty sure that Humble went Amber in the semi-finals as well. She's just good overall. She's really good for locking down the lane with her super. You don't really see Amber played too much in ranked because, I don't know, she's not really the most flashy brawler to play, but the pros really love her because she's really hard to counter. And then we see a last pick, Brock. So Brock recently got a hype charge. There's actually some Brock tech, which I'm hoping that the pros show off, which I actually seen on Twitter before today. Essentially, because everyone's saying now we're Brock in his hypercharge, if you use your hypercharge super, it's actually worse than his normal super. But what you can do is you can throw out your super and then pop hypercharge, so then your normal super damage is boosted. So it's actually better than the hypercharge super. It's just crazy, if you guys get what I mean. I'm hoping the pros know this, so should be able to get into the draft in a second. In terms of who's got draft, I don't know, because 8-bit's going to have to go lane here. Of course, Nanny's going to have the matchup against Bell. Brock's going to have a decent matchup against most of these brawlers. I would rather have a Brock than a Colt, you know, in a 1v1. But Amber's going to be pretty annoying to deal with. Jero's going to be able to go aggro there. I don't know if that was really worth it. Just one shot on the safe. Manages to stay alive a lot, though, but Smantic does as well. It's kind of up to this mid-battle. Who can be more aggressive? Luke is going to get some good taps in, and already map control going the way of Humble. It's whether Amber can push forward, because it can sometimes be hard for Amber to push forward. Smantic somehow doesn't actually burn that side of the oil, so then he's able to get some good pressure there. A lot of damage raining in from boss, and that's already a 40% lead going the way of Humble. Smantic's going to use his super there. Unfortunately doesn't connect, but Jero is marked up. Meow's just getting tapped by Lukey right here, and the pressure is just solid. But now Humble kind of have to push back a little bit because they're both weak. Jero's going to go for the super. Does actually connect that with a pinch from Meow. That's 2 members down for Humble, but they got some good damage. Jero's going to try and rain a few more shots. It's actually interesting he's using jump. I guess you don't really need to use wall break. Main reason being is because there's no type of like aggro brawlers, so you don't really need to destroy walls with Brock here. We're going to see a Nanny try and TP into the corner here, or just TP as close as possible to one of the opponents. He's actually just going to go for boss instead. I guess they're just kind of positioned well in case he wanted to TP. Lukey with a pop type charge should just be able to run Naui down, and that's going to be an easy kill. He's going to be able to survive that as well. Jero has to use another jump. It does actually manage to get the trade out there, which could be crucial. I think Lucas should have easily won that, but somehow a missed shot does work the way in his favor. Smantic with a kill onto Naui, and now there's 45 seconds left. I think Humble are playing this really well. They're just cycling deaths and getting pressure, but not allowing for ZETA to push forward. You see how Jero doesn't even use his super in hypercharge. I'm telling you, this hypercharge super is just terrible. He just literally only used it for the stat boost, which is clever. That's how you want to use a Brock hypercharge. So you see the 8-bit turret coming down here. We see Jero with his super lined up. This could be a lot of damage from ZETA. They need to try and confirm 1 kill though. Humble doing really good to pressure them back. I feel like they should have been done and dusted. Lukey's somehow juking it all the way up into spawn. He does need to try and confirm some kills though. Boss gets a hypercharge super on a safe. I think there's no way that ZETA turned this one around. So much damage from the Colt, and damage gear active as well. Surely that's going to be Humble winning, unless to somehow throw this away. The safe is kind of dwindling down. Only 20%, 10% in it, 13%. No, I think 15%. I don't know the numbers. But there was a very little percent at the end. But I think that was a really good breakaway play from Lukey there. He was able to get them all weak. And, you know, Boss was on like one shot. I don't know how Colt managed to survive that one. I guess when you've got such a good lead in Heist, it can work in your favor. I think Zeta just all didn't fumble. They all position themselves too much in one position, like down the left. And of course against Bell, that's not really what you want to be doing. They just allowed Humble to sneak through and just get damage of their own. So in terms of mid adjustments here, I was kind of expecting maybe 8-bit to try and switch matchup here just to try something a little bit different. But I guess a passive 8-bit can't really go wrong with that until you get your turret. Again, it's kind of up to Naui here because Meow can't really secure a kill with 8-bit. It's kind of up to Meow, Jero trying to get some chips in, and then Nani try and get a kill. So it's going to be another Nani TP here. Does TP quite early, which is going to get some good pressure, but he needs to confirm a kill. That's a really good tap from Naui, and that's a double kill from Naui. Bro, he's a world champ for a reason. He's going to eventually get down from Semantic. That's a very important kill, though, because if it was to get into that corner, that would have been pretty annoying to deal with. Good kill from Semantic there. Jero should be going down here. Does actually survive that, which is just insane. But Boss going to focus is safe. Good kill from Jero right there. Again, they can kind of avoid Bell as much as possible. Bell's just a brawler just to be annoying, just to poke consistently and keep pressure in the mid. She's not going to deal much damage on a safe. You're really relying off Colt and a little bit from Amber to secure as much damage as possible. So we've got complete map control here, but somehow Zeta are actually winning this one. Semantic goes for the super. Actually, a good choice using jump here, especially against Amber and the super. I kind of rate that. I don't really see Brock use jump too often, but Jero's kind of looking for a pinch here. His teammates aren't in a position to pinch, which is unfortunate. So I think Humble are going to start raining a lot of damage here. What a great move from Semantic. He's shooting through the safe and getting Naui down at the same time. Really good communication from Humble overall. A hypercharge super onto the safe, and this is pretty much done for. Surely Semantic can finish this with Amber shooting through the opponents and shooting the safe at the same time. What a great play from Semantic that was. The fact that they just looked a little bit lost on the map there, Zeta. They didn't know who they were pinching. Humble just take advantage of that, get so much damage with Colt, and that's why you pick Colt first pick. Clearly working out. Humble are going to win the first set. Let's jump into the second one. Alright guys, jumping into set number 2, we have Dueling Beetles. The draft is unfolding pretty quickly as it always does. In terms of best first picks, it's looking like Angelo, Byron, and Melody are going to be the best first picks in Dueling Beetles. I told you guys Byron is absolutely insane. A Pam first pick is pretty interesting. I'm not too sure whether I agree with that, because you can clearly see here Ems is a fantastic counter to Pam, one of the best counters for sure. I've learned that for over years. Bell is a great counter to Pam as well, because again, any turret brawlers Bell's going to get a lot of value from, because they can't no longer like sit as close to the turret as they want to. It's just going to be pretty awkward. You're going to get a lot of value for Bell. So in terms of good retaliation picks, you can't go Jesse into Pam. I'm guessing their thinking is that they've banned Lou and Jesse, two of the best counters to Pam. So that's probably what they're thinking. They've probably done some draft I don't know what's the word, draft strategy. I don't know why I struggled to find the word for strategy, but that's what they've probably done behind the scenes. It looks like it's a inconvenient. Actually no, I've seen Ems actually on Dueling Beetles last time, because there was like Gray, Jackie, all of this shenanigans going on. So if I go with a Griff, I guess that's in case there's any tanks on the side of Humble, which again I would not be surprised about whatsoever. I'm not too sure what they could go as a fifth pick here. If we're going to go with Piper, okay, that is quite brave. I mean, I like Piper in ranked, but that's because I have to carry my bad randoms. I'm not too sure. I feel like Piper can just get pressure too easily. There's got to be a brawler to counter this. I'm thinking Stu could be like okay into this. There's just so many brawlers. I haven't got the brawler selection screen in front of me, so it's just hard to come up with things. Maybe I don't know, like you need to be careful, because once the map opens up, Piper can outrange you pretty easily. If you go with a B, okay, B is a great pick into that. I've really liked that one. The problem is Piper's going to be good into Bell and B, but at the same time, it still is hot zone, so it's really hard for Piper to work out in this scenario, because again, like she just can't really sit on the zone much. Even like on maps like Ring of Fire, for example, where it's like Piper versus Bell, Piper's always struggled because it's hot zone. She has a really slow reload speed, so I would still kind of favor the Humble composition, but at the same time, if the map opens up, Ems is really going to struggle and is really going to rely off Lukey and Boss hitting shots consistently. Also, you got to consider the brawler HP on both sides of things. Like Griff can sit in a zone quite easily with his business resilience star power. You've got Pam with a lot of HP. So I don't know, Zeta feels like they could probably get more percentage over time. And a great counter pick from Zeta going the Piper. My guess is that it completely took him off guard because B's not a brawler you conveniently see. But at the same time, it seems to be working. Look at Semantic. He's just pushing up with his shield because it takes 3 shots for Piper to kill a B, or actually 4 because if you got the honey pot as well. So good pick from Semantic there. Really well timed gadget. He's able to get the slow onto Meow, and that's a really good super from Boss as well, trying to get as much value as possible. Jero's now used his last gadget there, but now they've got complete control. He's going to go for the wall break in the middle, which is going to be good, especially against a Ems. But again, it's not going to be completely the best against B and whatever else. So now the percentage is starting to trickle away. Now they've got the setup going. They've got the Pam turret. We've got Griff with the heals and the Pam turret as well. It's going to be pretty hard to kill them. So a switched mark from Lukey this time around. Guessing trying to help Boss out, win his matchup as much as possible. Just get a takedown onto the Griff. Now he manages to survive that pretty well. Like, he's doing fantastically. Eventually gets tapped down from Lukey. And wow, HMBLE are looking fantastic so far. I mean, I predicted Zeta to win this one, but from recent performances, HMBLE have been looking absolutely crazy. Now Boss is getting so much pressure. It's taken him so long to pinch him out. And then Semantic's just on his own with his shield star power, so he's eventually going to get pinched out, but he's just got so much value. Only 11% left for HMBLE. This is what I'm saying about Piper. It's very risky. I know it looks like she's got the matchups, but it's just hard to correlate that into time zone, especially against pro players. Like, they know how to juke Piper consistently. It's hard to land shots as a Piper onto these players. And I mean, the zone's time is starting to go towards Zeta's way. Only 9% in this. HMBLE need to move fast. Boss is going to get pinched down. Does manage to get a little bit of zone time. Lukey does get that tanked, unfortunately. And now Zeta have only got a few percentage left to claim this one. Only 4% left for HMBLE as well. Semantic needs to go fast. Boss needs to go fast as well. HMBLE look like they might have it. Only a few percent in this. And Zeta somehow take that. How? Oh, wow. How have they just managed to do that? And look at Zeta. They just look so composed. I mean, Semantic does as well. My head would be gone. If I've lost that by like 0.5 of a second, my head would be completely gone. Like, when you take a look back at that, you know, if HMBLE don't win the monthly finals, small margins like that might be costly. I mean, they didn't really make a mistake. I guess maybe in some ways they could have got a little bit more of zone time. But 1%, that's as close as I've seen a hot zone game in a long time. Fair play for Zeta to turning that one around. I feel like they just lost control in the wrong moment. HMBLE did, and like I said, with an Ems, it's really hard to regain control because everybody on Zeta's team outranges an Ems. Like, Ems was only there to counter Pam, but the reactions from Zeta have been really strong. Jero with some really good taps here. I think he was close to super there. That's why he went so aggro. That would be my assumption. But now Lukey getting taken down as well. Semantic getting taken down as well. I don't know. It just feels like the plan's kind of falling apart here for HMBLE. Another wall break that's going to be really hard for Ems to really do anything. They're really relying off Lukey or Semantic to get a kill, but it's just insanely hard. Like, how can you kill them with the Pam Mythic gear and business resilience? Yeah, this is pretty much over. Like, I just don't see how they're going to come back from this. Fair play to Zeta. I've really thought the Piper pick was really risky. It didn't look like it was paying off in the first time, but HMBLE just haven't got a cycle going, and Jero is just absolutely tapping. Meow's doing a great job cycling supers. Now he's just stayed alive the entire time, and this is looking all but over. So I don't know, it can be a bit of an outdraft when you look at things, but I just think it's just how the start goes, because like I said, the walls open up, Ems just can't really do anything. You're left in a 2v3 scenario. It takes you so long to regain control, and look at his Boss going to get taken down as well. Now he is full HP whilst Lukey is dwindling down in HP. Now with a really aggressive super, which I guess he can do because they're pretty weak. Jero's going to get the last few percentages, and surely... Okay, no, they can't just run it into an Ems. That would be pretty dumb. I mean, Boss is one shot. There's just no way HMBLE can make this comeback, surely, right? Unless they literally have the best game of their life. I mean, they're trying it. Semantic's pushing up so aggro. They surely can't do this, right? They surely can't do this. I mean, Boss is in a great position. Surely they can't be doing this. 3%. I mean, they can do this in this position. Look at this. Luke is pushing forward. That's Jero down. But they can absolutely do this right now. 20% left. Boss needs to get this position onto now. Now he's super weak. A hypercharge from Luki unfortunately misses. Doesn't get the most value. But look at this. Boss is going to get a kill as well. Surely, if they're going to actually clutch this... Oh, they actually did it. They actually did it. That is just absolutely insane. That is insanity. This match is crazy right now. A 99 to 100% game, and then that turnaround from Humble. I'm honestly lost for words. With esports, it takes a lot for me to kind of get hyped, because as a pro player, well, a former pro player myself, I don't know, I have such high expectations, which most things just don't amaze me anymore. But that gameplay amazed me. That was just insane. Like, the pressure that Semantic got to then push behind and break the wall. And then, of course, once Ems pushes up, it's really hard. You need a pinch. But then there was no pinch coming for Naui to then push up, because Luke and Semantic was just pushing them all the way back into spawn. And again, that's just why I'm kind of going back and forth between the compositions, but that's just how it is. But with Piper, once you miss a few shots, you can get pressure back so easily, and especially once those gadgets burn out. This is a great start from Humble this time around. But now the cycle might begin. If Jero can get a good wall break here, does get a little bit of the walls. I mean, maybe Meow needs to push up, but he doesn't want to push up too much. He just wants to keep trickling down this zone. But they need to destroy that next wall, because Ems can still push up with ease. Luki's got a hypercharge right here. Does unfortunately not get the most value with it. I mean, he's got a few taps in, to be fair. Now they're switching positions, so this is interesting. They're trying to get Naui on the bell as much as possible, which definitely is what you want. I mean, Pam doesn't have the greatest of matchups, but you don't want Ems on Pam whatsoever. That's going to be a double takedown from Zeta. Now Meow can safely get into position and destroy that wall, meaning Ems is just a lot harder to approach onto the zone. That's why you don't see Ems just play too much in general, because pros know how to keep distance against her, and that's what, of course, the casual play base will struggle with a lot. It's the best way to counter Ems, but it will take her long to pinch her down, but they eventually got her down here. And this is Zeta just getting such a big lead. It's just a cycle. The pinching is just insane from Zeta. It's what they need to stop these guys from progressing. Semantic is trying to go absolutely huge right now, but the percentages are just dwindling Zeta's way. There's just too much healing going their way, and Zeta look to take this one. There's no way that Humble can make a comeback, and that's going to be 1-1 in sets. This is such a good game, guys. I can't wait to watch it and watch the rest of it, because I have no idea who's going to win this, and that's why I love Brawl Esports. So guys, jumping into the set number 3, then we have Bell's Rock. We've got a Byron first pick. Again, just highlighting how incredibly strong he is in this current meta. In terms of the best first picks, we see the bans from Zeta, which are Piper, Angelo, and Jean. All consistent brawlers. We all know those brawlers are really strong. And then Melody, Tick, and Sprout banned from Humble, mainly because just throws in general can just be really annoying to deal with, especially if the opponents to free pick them, or even as a late pick. Of course, throws are really strong. So fair bans from Humble side of things. So they go with the Bell. Bell is just a good pick against Byron, especially any type of healing combination that requires, like Byron, of course, you need to be close to your teammates to heal them. So, of course, Bell's just going to be annoying because it's going to ricochet between Byron and the person he's healing. Also, you know, Bell's typically a good counter to Jean, but Jean is banned anyways from Zeta. Next, we have Rico. So Rico's going to be a good pick, mainly because there's only one brawler now Zeta can counter Rico with. Rico's going to be just really solid on Bell's Rock, really good into Buster, and just really annoying, especially with the pinches. And who else can Humble go? I've seen Mr. P a lot in Knockout Bounty right now. Not too sure whether it's the choice, especially because they've already got Byron and Rico. Again, I don't really know who they could go. The meta's just really dropped. It's hard to know. So this is why I like watching monthly finals, so I get to learn the meta as well. Only 1 second left, and they go RT, so that's pretty fair. Again, they couldn't go Mr. P because they've already got 2 brawlers like Byron and Rico who can get heavily countered. They don't want to go a third one. So RT is just pretty safe, good into everything, especially with the gadget buff. But then again, I don't think you'll be using that gadget in Knockout and Bounty, so that's why I'm kind of struggling to see the most value with RT and the new gadget. So go with Brock, last pick. So Brock is actually a really solid last pick. He's like decent against Byron, a good counter to Rico, because Rico's worst enemy is people breaking his walls, so then he can't have many positions to, of course, bounce his shots on. So Brock's always been a fantastic counter to that, because you have, I forgot what the gadget's even called. I just call it Big Rocket. You have that Big Rocket that can just destroy, I think it's the left bottom wall and the right top wall, and then Rico's just, he's still pretty good in mid, but you know, he's not going to get nowhere near as much value. And of course, Rico's just really squishy, so Brock can just deal with that. So in terms of best compositions, I really actually don't know who could come out on top here. I think because ZETA have last pick, they should have the better composition this time around, and especially because Buster can get a lot of value. So you see here, I think Jero's not going to opt to break their walls just yet, because Buster needs them to push forward. So that's probably my thinking right here. They've got to be careful of RT though, because RT can get 2 taps onto any of them and a gadget, and I think it kills them pretty much. Actually, I don't know whether the shield gear changes that interaction. It's been a while since I played RT on Bounty. Luke is trying to get some value onto Naui here. Now he's just sitting there. I'm not too sure. Yeah, Luke finally found a sweet spot. I don't know. It's really awkward to hit Buster right there, and there's no pinch coming forward. Jero's going to try and group with Naui to give him a super, especially once the gas closes in. But SpenLC's done a great job of pushing him as far back as possible. It's just a weird game. It's just now we just sitting back and some chip shots going down. I think Meow's in a really bad position, but Jero gets some really good cover. Going to take Semantic down. Boss gets the kill in the meantime. It looks like now he's going to get really good super onto Lukey right here. Now he just plays Buster so beautifully. Like, I swear he's the best Buster in the world. I just haven't seen a better Buster than him. Did you just see that? He uses super perfectly to kill Lukey pretty much, and then just gadgets instantly onto Boss to take him down. Like, the multitasking is insane. Like, you think Buster isn't a high skill cap brawler, but I feel like he is. A good Buster player is normally a good player. Like, it's just a good player in general. You get what I mean? Like, if I get a good Buster on my Power League, on my random team, I want to add them every time, because I know they're just good overall. Boss gets the kill onto Meow, which I didn't see because I'm waffling, bro. Sometimes I just need to shut up waffling every single time. Jero's going to probably get taken down here. I think in terms of how ZETA do this, it doesn't really matter whether they're feeding supers to the opponents. They're just trying to get a Brock hypercharge. Like, there's no hypercharges that they can feed it, and there we go. Jero does have his Brock hypercharge. Again, his hypercharge super isn't going to really kill anyone. It's just an additional stat boost, kind of just like Bell's hypercharge right now. You mainly use it, I mean, at least Bell's super, you can just kind of fly across the map and it will actually hit someone. There's no point really using Brock's, but at least you get a stat boost, and that's why you use Bell's a lot. And it only takes 2 supers to get it with Brock, so you do have that going for you for sure. And there's also 2 hypercharged brawlers on the side of ZETA, so that can definitely work out in the final interactions, whether Bell can get that or not. That's a really tasty super from Lukey, and that's going to be a pinch from Boss. That is beautiful. I think Meow's been caught out twice here, which is unfortunate for ZETA. I guess it's a little bit hard for him, because now he's just kind of sat in a corner, and all the fire is kind of focused there. But I guess Semantic's just always busy on Naui, so I'm not too sure how Meow's been caught out twice there. But as soon as you leave yourself into a 2v3 scenario, it's incredibly hard to come back. Jero really needs to find a kill here. They're just praying that they can make it to the final gas stage as quickly as possible. Now he's going to use a super, but it's not really going to do too much. That's going to be Jero left alive. And again, there's nothing they can do. 2v3 scenario. There's just too many brawlers pinching Naui. It's just unfortunate. They just need to survive much longer there. I mean, Meow, you can make mistakes in knockout. They've still got another 2 rounds to pull this back. I think they can do it. I don't know. It's just hard. I don't know whether Brock should actually break the walls, because Buster's just sat in that position every single time. I mean, he's just going to sit there. I guess, again, it's not the end of the world for Naui, because as long as he survives until the gas closes in, that's when Buster's going to be really strong. Okay, Jero does break it this time around. And we're kind of just sat in the same position. I just don't... What do I even talk about when the players are just sat doing this? What can you even do? But Meow's actually tapping his time around. He's obviously pretty mad how the last round went. But you got to be very careful versus RT. Again, a couple of taps and a gadget, and you're pretty much dead every single time. Jero's going to push forward a lot more this time. I guess the kind of... the comms really... Well, the communication, if you guys aren't sure what comms mean, they want to make sure they're not being pushed back as much, because Rico is really toxic. Wow, Jero is going to go one-shot weak here. Meow needs to cover for him. literally Brock's gonna get pushed back from this Rico, so now he needs to go in now. Really good cover fire from Naui, but he needs to get Semantic down. Semantic gets a really well-timed super. Luki survives literally on one shot. That's very unfortunate timing, but at the same time, that's really clutch from Semantic. I don't think Jero's gonna clutch this. There's just too much going on for a Brock, especially with Byron healing, and now Humble are 1 round away from going 2-1 up, and that would be absolutely huge for their chances of claiming a first monthly final win. I just love Rico on this map, by the way. It's just so easy to force players into uncomfortable positions. Luke is going to get a good connection onto Jero, getting pretty weak. And, you know, Rico's always been pretty underrated on some maps. Like, you don't even need to bounce your shots all the time. Like, that super damage buff that he got a couple of months ago is just deadly. If you can just connect that onto a squishy brawler, you can pretty much kill them every time. Now Semantic's got super. I don't think he's using Malaise as to throw this onto Naui. Now he's really weak. They need to go now. Now he's one shot right here. As soon as the super goes down, he's probably going to get taken down. I'm unsure why Humble didn't position themselves a little bit better. I guess it was just good cover fire from ZETA. That's going to be a great first kill from Luki. Meow needs to try and get that kill, but he can't. Now it's a 3v1 scenario. Now he can't do anything. So that's going to be Humble going 2-1 up in sets. The pinching was just too good. Some great counters to Buster. Really good team play. I love it from them. So hopefully they become victorious. I'd like to see an underdog win this one. So that's going to be 2-1. Let's jump into the next set. Alright guys, jumping into set number 4, we have Rustic Arcade Gem Grab. We've got the bands coming in from our screen. So Byron first pick again. Bro, Byron is insane. He's actually so good. I'm so glad I was early on that hype train. I know when my boy Byron is meta. I just know it. And especially since the hype charge nerfs, it's allowed Byron to thrive a lot more. So in terms of best brawlers for this map, again, I'd love to look at that. We see Melody, Angelo, and 8-Bit Band. Main reason we see a double 8-Bit Band, he's just such a consistent mid on Rustic Arcade. And also the Byron 8-Bit synergy. You just don't really want to see that. So that's why people are banning it. We see Ruffs from ZETA. Ruffs is a solid brawler, which ZETA like a lot. I'd say he's very underrated in meta, especially since his damage buff a couple of months ago. I've seen it played in Safe Zone. I see it played a lot here in Ranked. And yeah, just a good brawler overall. So Bell's going to be a good shutdown to Byron. I mean, it's not going to be a good shutdown to Byron, but you get what I mean. It's going to be like an even fight. I think Byron might have... I don't know who has the quicker projectile speed. I think Byron might just... or just a wider projectile shot. I think Byron might be more consistent in damage is what I'm trying to say. And then Amber. Amber's a fantastic option on Rustic Arcade because you've got the gadget that can get a lot of pressure down the lane. You've got the super that can get good control. I see Amber's also jump in on the launch pad sometimes to get some clutch plays. I've seen that. And also the synergy with Byron is pretty good as well. So I like the Amber pick. Good counter to Ruffs as well with the sandbags. You're probably going to now have to switch gadgets. Because Amber will just shoot through them. And then the Meg from Humble. So a great synergy with Byron as well. The only problem... I mean, Meg is actually okay into Bell. Yeah, pretty good into Bell. It takes Bell a long time to get Luki out of Mech. So last pick here is going to be interesting. I'm trying to think of a good last pick. You can't really go aggro brawlers at all on Rustic Arcade. But I'm kind of still thinking that aggro brawler might be the way to go. But we're going to go with Pam. Okay, that is interesting. Pam is very interesting. I'm not too sure what to think of that. I mean, Pam's going to be a hard kill, especially with Byron and Meg. But at the same time, I don't know. Okay, I think I know what they're going to do now. So they're going to put Belle on lane, put Pam in mid, and Ruffs on lane as well. I was thinking we're going to send Pam lane, but that's surely not... They're not going to do that in Rustic Arcade, right? So I'm excited to see how this one goes off. I've not seen a Pam on Rustic Arcade like ever. So it's going to be interesting. Of course, Luki is just going to go down the right hand side. I've told you guys a few times, like what you like to do with Byron is sit down the lane. You can get some poke shots onto the lane, and then you can also heal up your mid as well. But it's some really good early pressure from ZETA this time around. Pam versus Meg. Pam should win this pretty much every time. So that's why they've gone it. Main reason being it's because Pam's so tanky. And then you also got the healing as well. Meg just can't compete with that. So this is actually a really good draft from ZETA. I really give them props for their kind of brawler pool. What it takes to be a pro, like of course you need insane mechanics, but you need to learn interactions and who counters who in the draft as much as possible. Like there's nearly 80 brawlers in the game right now, and the fact that they've just randomly brought out Pam, I mean, maybe they're doing this a lot in scrims, but to my eyes, it's like a really, really good off-meta counter pick. I mean, clearly Zeta love using it if they've gone first pick. Pam and John and Beatles. Anyways, enough of the chat now. So again, Semantic's just really there for pressure. He's never really going to confirm any kills. He's just there to try and get as much pressure as possible. Maybe get some kills with his super if at all possible. But again, like, look, how is he going to kill a Naui with a rough street and a Pam turret? It's just not going to happen. So now the matchups are changing again. It looks like Byron's going mid and Bell's going mid as well. So you see that constantly change. We see Lukey get a couple of taps in. Jared's going to go weak as well. Luke's just going to use super on himself because it's going to get hard. It's going to be hard for him to actually be in a position to use super aggressively. A good hyper charge from Jared. Going to get a good shot onto Boss. Boss going to push forward with his gadget. He's got no gadgets left, so it needs to make as much use of this pressure as he can. But now with Semantic in small form, Amber with no gadgets left, it's looking like Zeta should comfortably be able to take this final gem and get the countdown. I think it's going to, yeah, one's going to go on the side of Humble, but Luke is starting to tap. So this is where things might change around, but the gem spawn's going to be the side of Zeta. I mean, the aggressions here from Humble, a perfect timed Amber, super, but it doesn't matter. Me, I was going to tap Semantic down the lane, and that's going to be another gem going their way. That's absolutely beautiful play from Zeta. Boss actually nearly kills the Naui there, but really clutch Pam super. He's having to stay inside the Pam super as well to stay alive, and that's going to be Zeta moving on to set point right here. This game is absolutely wild. Seriously, it's just back and forth, back and forth. This is what you love to see. If you're just watching Brawl Esports for the first time this year, you're in for a treat. I'm kind of sad that there's only monthly finals to commentate over right now. Typically, there's some like third-party tournaments going on, like ESL Snapdragon, like Queso Cup, and other things. But right now, there's only BSC, so we're only getting to see this once a month, which is just sad to see. I'm hoping the state of esports in Brawl picks up again. The main reason why there's been a lot of cups is because the game wasn't performing well last year, so that would have been reflected in this year's budget, if you're wondering, by the way, because there's only 5 monthly finals as well. But next year, if the game continues to do well, then esports should do well. Hopefully, I just hope I get to see more monthly finals. That's the number one thing. It doesn't matter, anyways. Let's just continue on with this game. Here's me just waffling. I'm a avid esports enjoyer. Okay, right. I'm probably gonna get a lot more pressure this time around. Jared's gonna barely survive. This is looking much better, but Semantic doesn't have his mech and he is marked. I'm not too sure if he loses that mark if he goes into the mech. I don't think he does. I think he keeps it. Boss going to get pinched down from Meow, though. I just love Ruffs on this map. A good Ruffs player can just dominate. Like, you might not think it because he's a support brawler, but he can just get so many important taps, and especially now he's treated up. He's just going to do some insane damage onto Boss. Good gadget from Naui right there. Also Pam as well. I completely forgot. Pam is a good counter to Amber because you've got the gadget to take away a lot of Amber's ammo. I mean, Pam was just like the perfect pick. It seriously was. A good takedown from Naui as well. It's just looking beautiful so far for Zeta. Also, Meow is using field promotion, I think, which is giving Naui extra HP. There's not many times where he's sitting next to Naui, but he is starting to hit right here. Just giving him a little bit of extra HP for survival. Semantic's going to get pinched down really weak here, but Jero can't really push forward. I think Semantic should be able to get the kill here. Oh, wow. That positive feedback stop out really helping out Jero there to survive that. Semantic's going to get back into mech though. Now he's going super aggressive onto Boss. This is back and forth right here. The gems are still going the way of Humble so far, but now we just got a really important gem. Getting the gem that's on the side of Humble, that's going to allow them to even things up and not allow Humble to get the countdown first. They've also got another gem in their pocket right there, and now Humble need to get a gem that's on the side of Zeta. That's where things start to get interesting, and now Boss is going to go pretty weak. There's so much HP on the side of Zeta. There's no way that Humble should be able to level things up right here. It's just fantastic play from Zeta. This is why they're world champions, by the way. So beautiful to watch. Their coordination as a team is just unmatched. Insane. So now it's going to set 5. You love to see it. Let's jump into it. Let's jump into the 5th and final set. So I've just looked at things right here, and I see a Shelly first pick, which is kind of wild. I mean, is this like a new meta which is going down? Maybe they're looking to counter a Buster pick potentially here. I mean, there's no need to counter Shelly. I don't know. I don't know what really is going on here. So I've not seen a Rico here right now, which he should probably be played. Rico is absolutely insane. So we see a Stu and Amber. So of course, 2 brawlers that counter Shelly. They outrange her, but don't feed her supers. So that's the way to go. In terms of best first pick brawlers, then you can clearly see on the left hand side Nita, Poco, and Sandy. So they've gone with a Buster themselves here. So that was my guess. Try and take one of the best counters to Buster. pair it with Buster himself. And then as a third pick, I would probably, I don't know, Rico's hard to go against Amber and Stu, to be fair. I don't know whether you double down with the aggression. Maybe you go Rosie yourself. Maybe you go Max. Max is still open. You could go something like that. Maybe you go Jean and just try and pair together really well. We'll go with a Charlie. Okay, that's another fantastic brawler. I'm still seeing Charlie quite a lot in the meta right now. And I literally seen, I think, ZETA in the semi-finals pick Charlie to stop the opponents going like a tank. So they've gone double tank counter, which is interesting. But then they've kind of took the best tank counters away from Humble. I don't know about Charlie pick because Charlie does get countered by Amber pretty easily. So last pick on the way of Humble, and they go with an Ash themselves, which is pretty interesting to me. My thinking is that they need some sort of aggression because it is center stage. You need someone in the bush to cause you pressure. Ash against Shelly and Charlie though is interesting, and Buster. Like, I don't know about all of this, but again, I think they're just going Ash to just get some pressure on the lane, or else they're pretty screwed because all three of their composition is really good in the grass. And you think of Amber, you think of Stu, they don't actually have too much presence in the grass. The reason why I'm saying this, it's just so important to get control in center stage, because as soon as you lose the bush control, it pretty much equals a goal every single time. So you see this fight for middle all of the time. You see Smantic going aggro here. Now it just pops Gadget and just goes straight into Ash. I just don't know about the Ash. Straight away when I pictured it, I was like, really into double counter? I'm not too sure what they could have gone other than that. Definitely something might come up by the end of it, but like, look at this from ZETA. It looks like they've just executed their plan perfectly. Luki nearly stole the ball off from there. So close. Imagine if he managed to get the ball right there, but it's just looking pretty tough, isn't it? Like, that's a really bad start from Humble. It's going to be some good pressure from Nawi with the Gadget, and that is Hypercharge super already. He's going to get Luki really low. Hypercharge popped for the additional movement speed. Luki's going weak, and that's going to be literally a goal and a game for ZETA. They're already one game away. This is just insane. They first picked Shelly. They've clearly had a strategy in mind here, and it's just completely took Humble off guard, because an Ash pick is just kind of wild. Like, absolutely wild right here. We see we want to see the gameplay here. We see Meow just look like, that's kind of crazy how a lot of players are starting to play with the iPad on the table now. Maybe that's the thing I need to try. I mean, I'm not trying to become pro anymore. I just want to give the pros a chance, you know. I'll just be too good. Anyhow, we've got Luki passing the ball up to Semantic. He's going to get taken down. Luki with some good pressure. He might be able to find a goal here, and he does. I mean, that's just one thing you can't do. You can't give Stu the ball and some space like that. A really good heads-up play from Luki. I mean, he who dares wins, literally. Someone's going to get taken down so quickly there. A super from Jero. Going to get all bush control. And just like that, I mean, with a Shelly super, they should be able to open a score. And there's no way Ash can actually defend this. He hasn't got the capabilities. He's not ramped up in rage enough. And now it's just one goal away from ZETA becoming monthly finals champions again. It's like the story of ZETA last year, is that they either got knocked out in the semi-finals or really early on, or they just won the whole thing. There was no in between for ZETA, so they might be able to repeat this again. The first monthly final, it was a little bit tough for them. They lost in the quarterfinals. Maybe just the first month back after becoming monthly world finals winners, it can be pretty tough. You might think, like I was talking before in the past, you might get a bit complacent. You might get a little bit of an ego, you know, you've just won world finals, but now after a little bit of a reality check, it looks like they're back into final form. But I don't even know why I'm saying all this, because they haven't won it just yet. Humble still have a chance. I just think the draft is just so in favor of ZETA. I just still don't see how ZETA don't win this unless a big mistake is occurring. So Meow's going to pop Hypercharge right here. Now he's in a position to super. Only one person on defense, and they're just going to be able to score just like that. So ZETA are your monthly final winners again. GG's. That was an insane series. I'm honestly just blown away the level of competition. I think the draft was just absolutely terrible from Humble. It seems like they had a strategy going in to try and counter that Shelly twice with those picks, but it just didn't come to fruition. And ZETA, they just removed their past, you know, the past monthly final, put it in the past. They worked hard, clearly, and they're deserving of monthly final winners, right? They literally won world finals last year, and that's just shutting up all the haters. So you love to see it. We see Contrive waffling here, but that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.